One project that we did when I was at MIT Lincoln Laboratory, I was there for about 10 years or so, and I had the privilege of working on the development of this technology. One of the things that we got to do was apply these very fast and detailed mapping systems, apply those airborne mapping systems to humanitarian assistance and disaster relief efforts. And in particular, you may remember in early 2010, there was a devastating earthquake in Haiti. And one of the questions that relief workers have is, first of all, where are the people? Because they've started to congregate in refugee camps. How are those camps changing in population? Are there more people coming? Are they leaving? What's going on? And basically, where should we take the food and the water? We were called to come down and kind of do whatever we could, and what kind of evolved from that is at the height of our mission, we were flying four missions a day, four aircraft flights a day over Haiti, mapping the city of Port-au-Prince and outlying areas, and monitoring in 3D what these refugee camps were looking like. And it turned out that because of the 3D nature of the data, as compared to just photographs, it was much easier to automate the process in your computer of looking at what we call geometric change detection. So you might one day have a flat field, but maybe the next day you start to have tents on it. And if you want to count the number of people, one proxy for that would be the volume of tents, just the 3D volume. Because we have the 3D data, it's trivial to just subtract the height of each pixel, integrate it up, and that's the volume of that camp. And then you can kind of derive a proportionality constant and say this is how many people might be at that camp on a day-to-day basis. Certainly there are lots of commercial applications of that same sort of thing where you're doing a wide area mapping in 3D and getting a geometric representation of what's there. And the geometry is often useful for automated algorithms to go through and find out what's going on. Obviously with a camera, you could take the picture and you could have an image analyst go look at that and say, oh, it looks like there's a tent there, it looks like there's a tent there. But at the end of the day, that takes way too long. You need to automate this. And so having the 3D data allows us to do that. One might think about, for example, floodplain mapping. This is something that the federal government is very interested in, and as you might imagine, insurance companies are very interested in this as well. If they can accurately measure where the water goes when the rivers go up by 1 foot or maybe a meter or something, and if they can more accurately know which properties are susceptible to damage, they can more accurately assess insurance rates to those properties. You'd like to, after a disaster or during the cleanup from a disaster, you'd like to rapidly assess, for an insurance company, you'd like to assess what your exposure is. Obviously for the people on the ground, they'd like to know which roads are serviceable and which ones aren't. There's lots of applications like that. Another insurance application would be, so for us in New England, this is especially interesting, but if I was an insurance company, I would like to know what is the slope of the roofs. Because I'd like to know, is that house going to have an ice dam claim or not? And if I have a nice steep roof with no valleys or anything like that, hey, I'm not going to have an ice dam. The insurance company really ought to charge me less money for my policy. Whereas if I have a lot of flat roofs and that sort of thing, they ought to stick it to me because I'm going to file a claim. So insurance companies are interested in this kind of detailed characterization of every property they might insure, but done cheaply and over a huge area. Right now that's not done for insurance because it's just way too expensive. This technology allows us to take these kinds of measurements, make these kind of maps on a wide scale at low cost.